Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. My name is Brittany, and in today's video I am going to be talking and sharing with you my fountain pen collection. So first things first, I am in no way an expert. I have been in the fountain pen game for like 2.5 years and I love it. Fountain pens are so fun. I love to use them. I love to write with them, and if you get the perfect combination of pen, ink, and paper, you're set. Like, that is the game changer. So, first things first, I don't want to make this video like overly long. I mean, we all have things to do, but it may be long. It just may be long. So, I'm going to just jump right into it. I know there's been questions, and I'm going to try to answer them in this video for those of you who have been asking. First things first, you got to put your fountain pens in a case, and I have the Girologio cases. This is the black, which is my favorite, and then I got the brown, which is like, it's I think it's made of real leather, I think, and this one kind of has a little bit more give on scratches and will pick up a lot of character than the black one. It's like nice and sleek. It's really soft and smooth. And then I have my pouch, which I got from Hand Stitch Leather, and I do have a review on this. I have a review on all my storage materials here, so they are on my channel. You can find them. I will try to link them down below. And then I have this big bad boy, which does not hold all my fountain pens. It just pretty much holds the ones that I just store for long periods of time that are cleaned. So I will go into more detail about the ones I use on a daily basis, or the ones that are my favorite. And I pretty much have my favorites in my pen roll, because my pen roll is what I take with me around the house. And like if I'm going out and I know I'm going to be out for a while, I will also take my pen roll for that. So let's get started. I don't know if it's better to do like, if you want to, do you want to continue to like see me, or should we just do like table down so you can see what I'm talking about? I think that's what I'm going to do, just because. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so first things first, I am going to talk about this one. This is the Girologio in the black case, and this one has like the most of my fountain pens that I use, like second to my favorites. And to start off, I have a Twsbi Eco here. This is like my favorite go-to for drawing. I talked about this like a long time ago, in a video a long time ago, and this has an extra fine nib on it, and I just love it. And I love the ink capacity, and so I use this like all the time. And I'm just giving it a rest because of the ink capacity here. It means that I don't go through it that often, since it is a fine nib, and so like the ink just sits in here, and so I need to give it a rest. That's my feeling for this one. Next is the E95S. This is a gold nib fountain pen, and it is probably the most inexpensive fountain pen that has a gold nib that I've purchased so far. And it is it has that, it's like an old styled nib. It's really cool, and it is more of a pocket pen, so you post it like this so that the size can be like a normal pen. So I really like this. I haven't used it in a while. It's a medium nib. It does, because it is a gold nib, the nibs usually, if they're gold, typically write a little bit fatter than a steel nib. So a steel medium nib will write like a smaller line, a finer line, than a gold medium nib, in my experience. Next, I have a Pelican, which also has I think it's a gold nib, but it's plated in steel or silver, I believe. This is a demonstrator, and by demonstrator, I mean that it is clear. You could see pretty much everything. So next is my Pilot Vanishing Point, and this is in the Desmo size, which means that it's just a little bit of a smaller fountain pen with ink capacity versus the Pilot Vanishing Point regular size. But it's very pretty. I really like the trim, the silver trim, and by Vanishing Point, meaning that it's a click pen. So this is also a gold pen, or a gold nibbed pen, and it is also hooded, meaning that you cannot see the whole like nib here. Next, I have a Pilot Falcon, and this has a soft medium nib. I think that's what it's called. I haven't figured out the best way to write with a soft medium nib, so I haven't been using it that much for that reason. But it is a nice solid writer from, you know, other people that I've heard, which is the reason why I purchased it. And it is lightweight. It is a Pilot pen, and Pilot pens are good, solid writing pens. You shouldn't have a problem with Pilot pens. From my experience, I have not had any nib issues with any of my Pilot pens. Next, we have an Opus 88, which is a fountain pen that has some acrylic, I believe, and then some ebonite, which is like a rubber material, and it's rare to find in fountain pens at a reasonable price. So this one is, I think it's a medium nib. For some reason, I was obsessed with medium nibs, and now I'm like obsessed with either super fine nibs or super italic stubby nibs. I don't know. Medium is getting boring to me for some reason. But this pen has a very large ink capacity. It is an eyedropper pen, meaning that you unscrew the body from the section and you fill it here with ink, and you have this much, or like about this much ink. So it will last you for a long time, and it is a good pen, travel pen, because it has like a shutoff valve that allows for less burping. Well, 0 to no burping. I just put some lotion on, so my hands are kind of slippery. But it is kind of like a large pen, which is one of the reasons why it's a drawback for me. Moving on, I have a Nema sign, which I think is a really good starter pen because it is under $15. It feels a little cheap, just like in your hand. It doesn't feel, it's not very heavy, but it does write, and it is inexpensive. You can do the cartridges, or you could do the cartridge converter, and so you have that option there. Okay, so next is the Conklin. This is a very girthy pen. Girthy meaning the grip is kind of wide in my opinion, and it's good for some people. For instance, it's good for people who may have arthritis, their hands hurt from like gripping something really tiny, or if you have a tendency to grip things that have that are really slender, and you know your hand starts to hurt. Well, having a pen that has a wider grip allows you not to grip the pen so like tightly, and it makes it easier for you to write and to write longer periods. So this is a Conklin. Conklin has a couple different styles of pens, but I feel like this is like a classic pen because it is the classic cigar shaped pen. Next, we have the Pilot Custom 74, and this one has a very large ink capacity. It is a really good solid writer. I think I messed up with this pen because I got a medium nib, and it is a gold nib pen that writes really wet. For me, I don't know, it's just not something I can use on the daily, because I use like small planners and I need to write pretty fine in those planners. But I do like it. It's very solid, smooth writer. I just need to get like an extra fine in this pen. Next, I have a Visconti pen, and my experience with Visconti is terrible. When I got this pen, the nib was terrible, and it kind of is holding me back from getting more Visconti pens. I do like this pen, the way it looks. You get this nice arc clip, which is supposed to represent one of the bridges in Italy. And then you have like this nice pretty body, and you have a magnetic cap. I don't have any other pens that have a magnetic cap like this one. Next is my Platinum 3776, and this is in the Chartreuse Blue. I think I'm saying it right. This is a very solid writer. I haven't inked it up in a while, and now that I'm looking at it, I want to ink it up because I really want to write with it. So I did get this in a medium nib. This is a 14 karat gold nib. It's a solid writer. It doesn't flex. I'm able to get a really nice like fine line with this pen, and it feels substantial. It's not like nothing's clinking around in there. It's just a solid pen. Next is the Edison. This is the Edison Nouveau, and this was a 2018 summer edition that I purchased from Goulet Pens. They have special editions that you can't get elsewhere. I like the color. The acrylic is beautiful, or the resin is beautiful. Isn't that the same thing? Acrylic and resin. The only thing is that I have trouble because my ink kind of stained the top portion of the cap, and I still haven't been able to clean it out properly. It also stained the inside here, and you know, it doesn't bother me that much. But one other thing that isn't my favorite when it comes to this pen is how it's so pointy, and it can hurt you, I think, if you were to like throw this at somebody. It's not my favorite when it comes to like fountain pen styles, I've realized. But I am glad I have it in my collection because it is a limited edition. It's special in that way. Next, I have a Twsbi, and this is the Diamond 580. This is in the rose, so it has like rose trim here and here. And Twsbis are another good starting fountain pen. I think it's more starter intermediate, just because of the price, really. You're not going to find Twsbi under, well, let's say under $18. I know they just came out with the Twsbi Go, which is not anything similar to the material you would find on the Twsbi Diamond 580, but they are good writers. I have not had any problems with my Twsbis. I know some people have had issues with like the mechanism and things like that, but when you come to like the writing portion, the nib, Twsbis are also solid writers there. So that is the first case, and that was so long. Okay, let's move. Okay, so second case, it's not as full. I have a Pilot Prera, which is a pretty small, tiny pen, and that's one of the reasons why I really like it. This is my second Pilot Prera. I have one in white, and I have this in a fine nib. And Pilot fine nibs are really fine, just so you know, because it's a Japanese nib, and Japanese nibs typically are on the finer side versus American and like German nibs. This is a Franklin Christoph. It doesn't have a clip, but it's made of this really cool material. It kind of has like a little bit of shimmer to it also. And the thing about Franklin Christoph pens is that they can be hard to get. Like, you got to be on your game when it comes to Franklin Christoph, because he comes out with limited quantity fountain pens that are in different colors and things. What I do is I have Franklin Christoph. I follow him on Instagram, and I put a notification anytime that he posts, because usually he posts about pens that are out in the shop. You really only have like a couple hours to be able to purchase one before they're all gone. Next is the Sailor L'Ecole. I love Sailor. They have nice small pens, and they're so cute, and they come out with so many different styles. The caveat is that they're expensive. This is a pretty inexpensive, I think it's probably one of their beginner fountain pens for Sailor, and it writes really nice. It is a good solid writer. This one I got from Jet Pens. So I probably haven't mentioned this, but I do buy my pens from either Jet Pens, Goulet Pens, Pen Chalet, and Franklin Christoph, and sometimes like Makers on Instagram. This, I would say, is a good starter fountain pen because it is under $15 and it is a solid writer. It's made by Pilot. It's called the Kakuno. This is a demonstrator. They come out with multiple colors that are fun and interesting. So I would consider looking at a Kakuno if you're just getting into fountain pens. Next, I have a Monteverde Crista, I believe it's called. This is another demonstrator in the blue. I love blue. This is actually one of my few first pens I purchased in 2017. And it's just so pretty. I don't use it that much because the nib is kind of So, but I do like the way it looks, and it has some weight to it, which is really nice. Next is the Travelers Company fountain pen. This is a fun fountain pen if you like things that build character over time. So this one does kind of get darker over time. I had this probably for like 8 months now, 9 months now, and this is where it's at. So I could be cleaning it. I haven't cleaned it yet, but you could see like a color difference between the two. So it's kind of fun in that nature, and also it's a pocket pen, and so it's easily portable, and you can hook it onto something to kind of keep it with you, like around your neck. I don't know why anyone would wear it around their neck, but or connect it to your planner or purse or bag. Next is my Lamy, and this is it the Lamy Accent? I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is not my favorite pen, only because I had issues with the nib on this pen. It gave me so much trouble, and because I have so many other Lamy fountain pens, I was able to replace the nib. That's one of the great things about Lamy, is that the nibs are easily replaceable amongst each other, and because there are safaris and Lamy has many pens that are pretty reasonably priced, you can easily interchange the nibs. So I had a problem with the nib that was on it, and I replaced it with the medium. The nib I did get was scratchy AF. I couldn't fix it. Next are another Conklin. This is another style of Conklin fountain pen. It's a little bit slimmer from the other one you saw, and it does write pretty nicely. It's a solid writer. The only thing is that it doesn't really post well. It kind of feels a little flimsy when you post it, and I like to be able to post my pens for the most part, so that is like one of the reasons why they're not in my like daily collection of pens. And here's another Conklin all black. This was actually their Conklin Duragraph, which is a flex nib. It doesn't flex as much as I would like it to, but you know, you can't always have things the way you want them. But I am glad I have it in my collection. And then I get into another Twsbi. This is the Twsbi Eco, which is a little bit lighter in weight than the Twsbi Diamond 580. Plus it has it's not the Eco T. The Eco T kind of has 3 like sides, flat edges. This one is just all curved, and I think this is the one that I like the most. The fact that it's all curved and it's lightweight, and you still get that ink capacity that you get with pretty much all Twsbis. So this, I would say, is another good starter pen if you are a writer who likes to write a lot. You get a large ink capacity, which is great. That's the end of that one. And then we can get into, just real quickly, my big bag. This bag has a lot of things in it, but for the most part, in this one side, it holds just the pens I rarely use anymore. These are probably like more of my beginner pens I used probably a couple years ago. And let's start off with my Lamy Safaris. So I have this one, a special edition that came out, and it's like a teal color. I have the bright pink one. It's like a shiny metallic pink. And I have the matte black. And then I also have this one, which is like the neon yellow. And I also have this one, which is the see-through one. I don't even know all the names of all the Lamys. They're different. They're not all Safaris. I think the Safaris are the ones that are solid color. And this is another, I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. But I like this one because I like demonstrators. And I also have this pink one, and I think this is the one, nope, this was like a very solid writer. I used this one for the longest. It's not the metallic pink. You can tell it's like a soft pink color. Next is this one. I can't remember what this is called. Oh, this is a push, like a push top. This is a good solid writer and a nice beginner pen as well. This is a Pilot Kaweco pen, and the nib is actually really nice on this. I have another Kaweco. Is it Kaweco or Kaweco? Kaweco? Sorry, I know I'm saying things wrong. They have a lot of like tiny pens. This is like a really small pocket pen, and this is a twist top. And this one has a super small nib. Oh my gosh, this is like the first time I've seen this in a long time. And I'm just now realizing how tiny the nib is on this guy. But anyway, it's a cool pocket pen. It's just that, I don't know, I found a lot of people crave about the Kawecos. And this nib gave me a lot of issues. I don't know what it is. So I would say these are good intro pens. They are under $20 and they come out with some fun colors. So I talked about the Kakuno Pilot, and this is another like color combination you can get with this pen. And then I have a Faber-Castell. This is my only Faber-Castell, and the nib is so-so. It's not like the greatest, but I really liked this fingerprint. It's kind of embossed, so it has texture on it, and that was like pretty much the selling point for me there. And then the famous Metropolitans, which come in the Color Pop like collection, come in like fun colors. I have this one, and then like the teal one, orange and teal, and these are solid writers. Unfortunately, the prices have increased on this product, and so you can no longer get them under $15 unless you have like a sale or something or a discount code. They're like in the $20 range now. But these are solid writers. They have a good, nice weight to them. They're not too heavy, but they're not super light, like plasticky feel. The Pilot Parallels, which are, in my opinion, just fun pens to doodle and draw and just have fun with. The cool selling point about these, they are parallel. So you can see the nib, it's not pointy. They're flat, and they have, if you get the set, you get different nibs options. And so you can get a really wide parallel pen like this one. And you can do awesome things with these. A lot of calligraphers, professional calligraphers, do a lot of fun, interesting things. You could tap the nibs together if you have two different inks, and then the ink will change as you write. It's just really fun to play with, and I think that's where it ends. It's not really much of a daily writer pen. Okay, next I have another, this is the Twsbi pen. It's another pocket pen, and it's pretty cool. It's not the greatest writer at all. I wouldn't really suggest for a newbie to buy this pen. I bought it because I didn't know what I was doing, and in the process I did learn, I guess, kind of. But this pen is pretty cool. It's a pocket pen, and you just put this on top so that you can write. Otherwise it would be almost like super hard to write with this pen if it were this way. Okay, talk about these. This was, you can find like really cheap. You can find really cheap fountain pens like the Jinhaos, and this is a Jinhao. It's a pretty solid writer, and I think the Jinhaos are Chinese pens, I think. And so I got this from like some planner subscription, and I don't really use it that often, but I found that it does come with a converter, which is this metal piece here, and it was like under $5, I think. So pretty good if you want to go really inexpensive. Look at a Jinhao. They have like Jinhao sharks now, which you can get from Goulet pens, which are like shark pens, and they're like $3. So if you're looking to start really inexpensive, I would look at Jinhaos. Next are some more Twsbis. These are the black and white colors I got. These are Ecos. I think I got all of these in different nib sizes just to test them out. I think my favorite nib size in a Twsbi is a fine. Moving on, we're getting to the end of this. I have a Noodler's fountain pen, which it has like a flex to it, which is really nice. And I don't use it that much anymore because it is a pain to clean, but it is a fun flex nib pen, and it's not as expensive as other flex nib pens are or can be. Then I have a Diplomat pen, and I have another Franklin Christoph, and this is in like the ghost color. It's kind of transparent, not entirely, but it is like a pocket pen size. Okay, that's pretty much it. I do have a couple more Noodler pens that are like really thin, and right here that I got, they're inexpensive. Not my favorite, but yes, I do have those. Okay, so let's move on to the ones I use almost on the daily. These are my go-to right now. I tote around with me. First, we have the Benu pen, which I recently purchased, and I love this. I love the like little sparkles. I love the shape. It's so different. The only thing I am not crazy about is the small nib. It's a number 5 nib, and I feel like it would look so much better if it had a number 6 nib. However, the nib writes great. It's comfortable in the hand, even though it has like all these, is it faceted edges? Is that the right word? I think it is. but it still writes pretty nicely. I mean, it feels nice in the hand and it writes really nice. Really well, I guess I should say. Shouldn't keep saying nice. Next, we have the Birmingham Pen Company, Fountain Pen Company. They have some fun colors, and these are both from his company. It is like a one-man show, one man and his father show. But they have some fun colors, and they're not super expensive. I found that like they have some fun nib options. So one's like a medium nib, and it's a German nib. It's like I think I got a Knox nib, and then the other one is a calligraphy nib. And so I thought that that was pretty cool that they have more options than just like fine, medium, broad, and 1.1. Then we get into, these are my Amazon fountain pens. This is like a desk pen. It's cool because I got it, it's an extra fine, and you can put carbon ink in here. You can put carbon ink in just about any of these pens, but I got this because I wanted to draw with it. And if you have you can get one that has a stand and it can just stand up. It's not really practical when it comes to like toting around because it's so long and it doesn't always fit in everything. Same with this one. This is a Fude pen. I've talked about this many times before. It has a very interesting nib where it's kind of bent on the edge. You can get a couple different degrees of angles of the nib being bent, but the main idea is to be able to get different types of thicknesses with this pen. This pen cost me like $10 on Amazon, and it was well worth it. But the only thing I didn't like about it is that it's just so long. It's a sailor pen and it's just so long. I don't like that. I wish it was shorter, then I can take it with me everywhere. Okay, so Franklin Christoph actually gives you little pouches with every pen purchase. I find them really convenient because they can protect your fountain pens, and they can fit, even if you buy one pen, he gives you the case, but these pouches can actually fit 2 pens. 3 pens is kind of pushing it unless they're super skinny and tiny, but 2 pens is good enough for me. So it allows me to fit a little bit more into this pen roll. And I have the Tasha fountain pen. This is just a newer pen that I own. It was on sale at Pen Chalet, so I went ahead and got it. I like this portion of the pen. It's kind of, it's a different texture and feel to it. However, I feel like it's a heavier pen. It's not really made of plastic, and then when I post it, it becomes back weighted, meaning that it's not balanced and it feels really heavy on this end. So when I'm writing it, I feel like it takes more effort, and that's not what I want. I want an effortless pen to write with when I am journaling and planning. Next is another fountain pen from Franklin Christoph. I do enjoy his pens. They are solid writers, and you get a ton of different options when it comes to your nib. You can get special grinds from Mayusiyama, I think it's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I'm butchering it. And so this is an italic medium nib. I love it. And his pens are lightweight, and the shapes are pretty unique, and he has some really interesting stuff going on. So I really enjoy Franklin Christoph. Next is another favorite, which is my Sailor pen, and this one's a demonstrator. As you can see, it has gold trim to it, and it's small. It's like really comfortable in the hand, which is what I enjoy. And I got this in a zoom nib. I love it. The zoom nibs have like a lot of tipping material on the end, meaning that it's like a big blob of metal on the end. Actually, I think this is gold, so a blob of gold on the end. And with the zoom nib, you're able to get different line widths just with this one pen. So it's unique in that way. And zoom nibs, you can't find them on a lot of pens unless you get them specially grinded from a Nibmeister. I'm glad I got it for this pen. I have another pouch, and in that pouch I hold another Franklin Christoph. This is, I think this is my newest pen. This is the pen I got into this year so far. This was like a special limited quantity, and that was because he had different materials and was able to put in a different type of what do you call this? I'm sorry, the word is escaping me, but this is made of like, it's like a red material. I forgot what he calls it, but he doesn't normally pair these together with this cap and this material, so that was like the reason why it was limited in quantity. But it is a solid writer, and I got this in the 1.9 or 1.5 nib, so you can see it's really wide at the tip and it writes very smooth. So there's that. And then finally we have a lookalike actually, and these are from two different companies. This is from Edison and this is from Birmingham. This is an Edison Beaumont, and I would say this is like my favorite shape so far. I really like the flat edges on this pen. It just looks, to me, it looks more appealing, and I need to get more of these, but I need to slow down. But it's a nice, like, it feels like a pocket pen to me, even though I don't think they call it a pocket pen. And Edison has a lot of great nibs. Like, I have not had any issues with their nibs. They write fantastically. So I got this in the stub. I think it's this is a 1.1 stub, and I love it. I love the material, obviously, because I got two of them. But this one's, it feels like it's slightly different. Anyway, so I really like and enjoy like the bright colored pens, and not many sellers sell them. So when I see them, I will try to grab them if I can. And I do have a couple more that are randomly scattered in my house. I do have a Pilot Vanishing Point in the matte black color, which I have connected to one of my notebooks, and I have another one from Tactile Pen Company that has a really nice texture to it. I just don't have it in front of me, and this video is getting super long, so I'm just going to end it right here. I hope you guys found this interesting, hopefully a little bit helpful. As I mentioned before, good starter pens are a Pilot Kakuno, Pilot Metropolitan, a Kaweco pen, and a Twsbi. I think, in my opinion, I will list those down in the description box. I will not be listing everything I mentioned because that would take me forever. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments down below, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. And I appreciate you guys making it this far in the video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh my gosh, my tea is super cold. Oh. Not bad.